Well, I want to remind you on a couple things, actually, a strong dollar, what it means. And, this is probably how you're feeling about silver right now, sitting here pouting, going, F you, right? Yeah, I know. But there's a few things, actually, what the strong dollar means, and it really does present a problem. Like, in other words, the economy has to be a balance. And even when silver takes off, it will at some point in time and throw everybody by a loop. That's when, you should be trading it for another hard asset. You'll have to take dollars at the point of exchange. But the thing is, a healthy economy is really a balance. And what's going on now, you got too strong of a dollar. And what does that really mean? It means that you're going to have a problem with exports from the USA, and also most of the companies on the S&P are international now, and they rely on exports too. So a strong dollar is going to hurt U.S. business. It's actually going to hurt a lot of different things in some ways because people are relying on exports, and it's just making our products too expensive. I know a lot of people think that, manufacturing moved out of the United States, but there's still a very healthy export market, and that's actually going to have a problem with the S&P. Maybe not for the third quarter 2014, but for the fourth quarter 2014 coming up right now. So, I mean, we're already in it now, but, the other thing is, hey, if you're having being down in the dumps on the silver and the gold and the platinum and the palladium, just make yourself a bowl of punch. But just a little dash of gin and whatever. It's just not. It's going to be a temporary thing, just like this thing with the dollar. Now, I remember a couple years ago, I thought silver was going to go solidly below 26 to 24, and people were jumping all over me back a couple years ago. That, oh no, it's not going to break through 26, and then it broke through 24, and then it broke through that, and then I figured, what, 22, 18 would be the line in the sand. Now it's below that. But Jim Rogers also talked about something before, and he said that he hoped everybody get despondent and sell off, and he wants to see that happen. So that's what he's looking for. So just like anything, money changes everything. The guys on the top in the suits are the biggest crooks going, including Jim Rogers. I know everybody thinks George Soros is a crook, but pretty much all the gold and silver pundits are crooks too. Money changes everything. They're not really telling you the deal. They think they know a lot more than they tell you. And but I don't expect this deal to last too long with the dollar, because now, I said we got a triple top, and with the dollar, which is also a triple bottom with the gold. It's time for a major change. And, there might even be major changes politically. Now, I just wanted to show you, this is coming up for the future, because this is actually Putin the cat riding a horse, and he's in disguise. He dyed his fur black because he doesn't want anybody getting on, figuring out what's going on. He's getting ready to take over the leadership of Russia. So he's riding a horse right now, and he's getting ready for that role. You know how Putin rides a horse? Well, Putin the cat is learning how to ride a horse, so he can do all those photo ops too, But if you invested in the ruble right now, if you think that the freaking damn silver is getting slaughtered, the ruble is getting slaughtered even more, and actually the Russian stock markets too. But when things turn around for the silver people, it's going to look good for the Russian ruble. It's going to look good for the euro. It's going to look good for the commodities in general, and good for the Russian economy. And I swear, I know, I'm not an enemy of the United States. I just want to see silver go up so I can make lots of money, you know what I mean? And, it's like the people that are cheering Russia on, they're going to be, really knocking the United States to the max and saying elite this and elite that. And, the deal with those guys, they never, if things are doing pretty well with the U.S. Well, they're doing very well with the U.S. dollar. They're doing well in the markets still, even though we had some correction, but not the big correction yet. If when things actually turn bad, I can't imagine how bad these people are going to be bad-mouthed in the United States. Now, I want to actually get on to something else here because I was looking at Lindsey Williams' I don't know, was his trailer or something about his 2015 DVD. And I just was finding it interesting that this was actually coming from his thing, divine intervention. And I always thought divine was spelled D-I-V-I-N-E. So divine, is that with devil intervention, or does that mean godly intervention? So you might want to wonder what's going on with this deal with this guy, man. Someday it will be revealed. Well, I already know the deal with this dude, but I just had to point this out because I found this kind of funny that the actual promotional trailer thing for his DVD spells divine like that. I'm thinking devil, right? D-I-V-I-N, and just put an L there, right? Devil or devil, divine, or I don't know. Who the hell knows? Anyway, now we're seeing the markets come down a lot in the platinum and palladium because they're heavily industrial, but there's a limit to where it's going to go. This is a spot market. You're still probably going to be able to buy the stuff, but I'm also a little leery about buying platinum and palladium now because of all the Chinese counterfeits that have been out there. It's not worth their while to counterfeit silver, even though I think palladium is going to do quite well. I'm waiting around a little more. I'm going to be probably buying some more silver a little later, but I'm waiting around because when I heard David Morgan talk about, well, I don't expect it to go to low 13s, even though it could. I don't know. This guy has been totally, I'm suspicious now, to tell you the truth, because, he's been a little bit letting the cat out of the bag sometimes, so to speak, on some of the ways he's been talking, and I think they do know what's going on. I think the top people do know what's going on. They're just not going to let the masses know because the only way you make money on playing cards is to fool the other guy, right? That's my suspicion. Anyway, I think, it could go lower because they're trying to knock down Russia. But the big danger of this deal is, they're talking about pricing oil in not U.S. dollars. Well, if they do that, they could start pricing everything in not U.S. dollars, and you just might see a major correction in the U.S. dollar very quickly. I remember a few years ago, back in 2008, everybody thought the dollar was going to crash. Go buy euros. The euro was up to 150 to the dollar, and look what happened. Immediately, inside of no time. That's the same thing that could happen with the dollar again. But, if you bought a DVD, you might want to request a refund. I'm gonna get on with this guy because I'm getting totally sick with this guy because he makes his money on the 5013C garbage. You know what I'm talking about? And it's been so blatantly wrong that I don't know. If he was a financial advisor, I know what my boss would be doing. But anyway, what's going on right now, or my ex-bosses would have been doing. They would have been hiring attorneys after Lindsey Williams. If that guy, Lindsey Williams, was somebody that walked in an office and said, this and that and all this kind of shit, and you paid him money, and it came out like that, forget it. But anyway, the smart people right now are taking the cash, and, they're actually trading it for something else because the dollar's been on this bull run winning streak, but it just can't last forever. I know it's almost like the same deal with silver when it was going up. It's like, oh, yeah, it's going to keep going up to the moon. Now, people are thinking the dollar's going to go up to the moon. There's nothing really to substantiate that either. It's going to be a balance. So right now, people are taking the dollar and they're trading it in for others important things made out of silver, like maybe Pearl Hander broom lugers or something like that, or some cool freaking little pocket pistols or whatever. Because you don't necessarily have to buy silver coins. There's a lot of other things out there that are probably going to be worth a lot of money in the future, and that can actually be collectibles too. And the other thing is you got to watch for like tradables too. In the future, if there's ever a real problem with different things, stuff like this, when I'm presenting here, would actually be a very, very smart investment. And the other side of it is nobody in their right mind, would say, oh, this is something that you're investing in for bad purposes, because it's obviously a collector type pistol, right? So a lot of people don't even think outside the box with that. So, if you're going to be looking about dumping some money into something, you might want to even be looking at this too. Not even just for survival purposes, but for just collectible. And it always works too. The damn thing will still go work for you when you need it. So just remember to diversify and keep the rainbow colors going here, because when things change, they're going to change fast. Like in other words, the expectations right now are that silver is going to go to like, oh, I don't know where it can go, to tell you the truth. I didn't think it was going to go below the 18. I thought 18 was a really solid, line in the sand. But, what I was looking at, though, when I'm seeing when the markets start coming down, I think the markets are going to come down, too, along with the commodities. We saw Friday the markets go up because of the jobs report. But the problem is the expectations for the future with a strong dollar, it's going to hurt the bottom line on a lot of the companies in the S&P, which is going to bring the markets down too. Because of the strong dollar, it's going to hurt sales, because everything is international today. So, the S&P is going to come down. What I got in my question in my mind a lot is, I know Soros is not going to lose out on all his bet if the markets don't come down, the equities markets don't come down by this real soon in 2014. He's going to lose out a significant portion of his bet. But he added to the position in early 2014, in August 2014. I don't know. I'm curious, because I'm thinking October might be a very interesting month for the markets. And what usually happens is the commodities come down hard first, then the markets. I figured when the commodities and silver hit like 18, that was going to be the signal for the markets, but lower than I thought. So, but when it goes back up, it might go higher than I think too. It's going to be like a boomerang. So, anyway, just hang on to your silver. Just remember, silver's got a lot of different uses, and you can just make things with it and designer things, and you can hide your silver in different ways. It's a precious metal that actually has uses. It's something that, you can fashion it into other items, and nobody really, understands that you have some real wealth there. And like I said, it has a very diversified, method of usage, because unlike pretty much every other commodity out there, it gets pretty much specialized. And the only commodity out there that's more diversified, has more diversified uses, is oil itself. And that might even change, because the future of oil actually looks kind of bleak, with solar panels coming on pretty strong, and even sun gas coming on pretty strong. Solar panels are actually taking it from the utility companies, and that the utility companies use fuel. And the sun gas is something else that's coming on strong too. And also natural gas. There's new methods to make natural gas directly into liquid fuel that could be very promising, and are actually in production in limited quantities right now. So actually, it may turn out to be that silver is going to be the most important commodity in the future for quite some years. It might surpass oil. So, what things seem to be right now, it's almost like, oh, this is the worst thing in the world, but it could change. It's very, very, you never really can predict silver that much. I'm just going to state when I looked last year, when I saw the markets going down on gold and it hit a bottom the second time, or actually that was a double dip. The norm, and then we saw the upward trend moving up again. I'm not showing a chart, but we saw the upward trend moving up again. It looked like that was the end of it. Then it started doing a slow slide, and now it's doing another correction. Now Jim Rogers says he figures it's going to have a long, complicated bottom, but I'm actually thinking though that the Middle East may throw a real curveball in, because what could happen if something happens, the Middle East has got some real powder keg situations underneath the surface. What could happen is gold and oil can go way up real fast due to the Middle East blowing up, and gold would just soar along with it, and then there would go silver. I mean, it's always been that my contention that can, if the Middle East, well, it's not a theory, but it's if that happens, if there's a major problem in the Middle East where oil refineries are getting blown up, oil will go right through the roof right away, hit record highs. Gold will freaking take off like a rocket too, and then silver will take off. So that situation, all the key elements are there, but so far nothing has lit the powder keg yet. So from everything we're seeing right now, there could be a major change in the way things are. So in the near future, and like I said with silver, it's thrown everybody off so many times that it's just going to be something where you're going to have to hold on. But don't be afraid to sell it when it does take off like a rocket. Like, I'm definitely dumping I don't plan on dumping my electronic stuff till it gets near 50 anyway. So I don't really give a damn what it does right now. That's the way I look at it. But just for your information, that's my plans. I'm not dumping any silver until it gets near 50. And, when that'll be the electronic stuff first. So anyway, over and out. Just remember that the strong dollar, just to sum it up, the strong dollar bodes bad earnings and tidings, bad earnings expectations for companies that are internationally connected in the United States, which means that'll be bad for the S&P. In addition, though, it's already too high. And when that comes down, what are you going to do? QE? Again, which they're already doing through the back door through Belgium. So anyway, the situation can change very, very rapidly. And when it does, as long as you're patient now, you'll make out. Like I always said, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. That was advice from other silver people, not moi. But I'll probably be adding more silver here. But I'm watching because I'm thinking now, since it busted through, where could the bottom be? I don't know. It could be a lot lower because it broke critical resistance of 18. So I'm biding my patience. And if I miss the bottom, I don't care. I got enough of it anyway. That's the way I look at it.